So this year, the AI stocks or the tech stocks have been getting hit the hardest. As you can see, Tesla down, Amazon down, Google down, Meta down. We've got Apple down as well too. Nvidia's been down. This is for the last 3 months here, so everything's been getting crushed quite hard through here. Plus, also going to be looking at the actual stock market, what's going on through there. USO oil, there's actually a really interesting pattern that's happening here, even on the energy sector as well too. Also, I'm going to be focusing on the health sector here. The health sector looks really bad, right? The health sector looks really sick. I'll be looking at gold. Also going to be showing you what's going on right now when it comes to the dollar, because the dollar is actually showing a potential false breakdown. That's probably going to be putting a lot of sort of pressure on the downside as well too. Plus, I'm going to be talking about some opportunities that are coming around our plate in the markets here right now. So traders, before I do get started, obviously don't place a trade based on this video here, guys. There's no guarantees of making a profit on anything I do say. But if you do want to get some more education, I've got a full complete jam-packed trading course that walks you through eight videos long of everything you need to help you with your trading. That's that first thing in the description. Or if you'd like more personal one-on-one or more personal help, then click on that second link in the description and you can apply for the Inner Circle program. Now, I want to start off with this level here. When it comes down to the AI stocks through here, one thing I've been thinking about here is that where are we in the AI bubble, right? Because we have there's where we are right now in the AI sort of, is it the AI bubble? Right? Question mark there, right? So I question myself, because the reason why I say that is because when we're looking at the markets and we're looking at this level here, is like, where are we? Because we know the 2020 or 2000s was what? That was the roaring, that was the internet bubble. But I don't believe we've seen nothing. I don't believe we've seen anything yet in regards to what can actually come out of this. When it comes to the AI, when it comes to the AI or what's been happening right now, I believe that we maybe, if we look at the actual stock market itself, right? So let's go look at the Nasdaq here for a minute, and let me actually bring up. Let's go to the Nasdaq here for a minute, and let's actually just change this to say, let's actually just squeeze this up here for a minute. So if I squeeze this up and blow this up here, we all do know that this was the AI bubble back here. Now the interesting thing is that question for you guys. If this is the AI boom, which we're experiencing right now, and we're on the cusp of an explosion, as you know, for the next 5 years. Question, is the Nasdaq index the best place to be? Because that's going to be focusing mainly on what? The tech and AI and so on and so forth. So is the Nasdaq, for long-term buy and hold this is, right, over the next couple of years or the next 5 or 10 years, is the Nasdaq index the best place to be? Bit of a question mark. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But also, let me know where you think we are. If this was the AI boom through here, right? 96, 97, 98, and we can see that this actually ended in just an absolute explosion to the upside of this is obviously the internet bubble, right? The internet bubble, and then we came down and we had a big bubble through here. So my question to you, for you guys, is that we know we're in the middle of this AI boom right now, right? And when we're in an AI boom, we have these periods of, these are months, right? These are months, that's 2-3 months. These are months of, we do get the drops on that through there. So my question for you guys is that if this is the AI sort of boom and we're getting that right now, and this is obviously the big picture here, where are we right now in relation to say the internet bubble, right? Because if we look at this through here, I actually, for me personally, I would have to say we're still in the early stages, right? I still believe over the next, I'd say 5 years, maybe, right? I believe we're going to experience something like this when it comes to the AI sector, right? Because we just know that, right? The AI is the greatest sort of movement that we've seen in a long time. And so therefore the AI sector, if you're looking at some long-term buy and hold stuff, there's 2 sectors that I see that I believe that could be there. This is one right now. And the second one is the gold mining stocks, in particular the gold mining junior stocks, right? The GDXJ. I do believe this one here, and the reason why is because, as you can see, once we go through the next mining boom, and I believe that's going to come, I just don't know how that's going to happen. I believe we're going to see an extraordinary quality move when it comes to the gold mining stocks. And one of the reasons why I say that as well too is that everything goes in cycles, right, guys? So there's nothing, everything goes in cycles. So why is the tech stocks been getting hit so hard this year? Because what have the tech stocks been doing for the last few years? They've been going through the biggest moves, right? So therefore, everything has its day. Everything goes through cycles. We have flattening out periods. We have boom periods. We have pulling back periods. We have flattening periods. We have a boom period, right? Right now, we're going through this here right now in the tech sector, right? And then we go through this period through here, flattening out period. So and then we're probably going to go through this sector. This point through here, by the way, when it comes to the AI sector, right? This is for long-term stuff, guys, not short-term stuff. It doesn't matter what happens on the short-term. Short-term to me means over the next couple of years, right? I'm talking about over the next 5 to 10 years. I believe we're going to experience both, the AI and so on and so forth. And I believe we're in this right now here on the AI stuff. And right now we can see this flattening out. We're probably going to get the flattening out period. And then this second leg here, this is where you're going to start to see this second leg here. This is where you're going to start to see some really, really, really big movement to the upside in the AI sector. And the second sector to me that I believe that we've got the boom, we've had the flattening, and I believe we're going to see an extraordinary quality move is the gold mining index, right? But again, we're looking at a weekly chart here, guys. Looking at a weekly charts. So therefore, just because the mining stocks go down to 50 or even down to 40, right? That's not the way. When you think about investing, guys, investing is not worrying about the short-term movements, right? So long-term investors right now are not really worried about this movement for the last 3 months. Why? Because they see where things are likely to be at the end of this year. Makes sense? So they're the two main sectors. In fact, if I just go back to let's actually go back to the Nasdaq here for a minute. And let's actually bring on the monthly charts. Let's go to the monthly charts here. So we're going to look at the monthly charts because I want to go back to this point through here because I do believe, So traders, there is so many opportunities around this place right now. There's absolutely so many opportunities. When it comes to bullish trades, when it comes to bearish trades, there's sectors that look like they're about to get crushed right now. There's sectors that look like they're actually about to boom. There's even looking at the crypto market. There's so many opportunities out there, guys. If you do need some help, guys, when it comes to just being part of a group, but also really getting a good handle on all of these markets, so you can take advantage of wherever the pockets of opportunities are, right? Then make sure you apply for my inner circle, and the inner circle is where I'm actually coaching you every single week and sharing stuff like this with you, but with my inner circle in a lot more detail, stuff from there. So once again, I'm just going to go back to the internet bubble. The reason why I'm going back to the internet bubble here is because once again, I do believe we're going to see something like this again on the Nasdaq, right? This is coming again. And the reason why I say that is because this AI, we know this is the biggest thing out there, right? So I think this is an amazing and exciting time right now, guys. Really, really, really is. This is an amazing and exciting time to be alive because there's so many pockets of opportunities out there. If we just step back and look at it from two folds, right? So I want you to be thinking about your trading from a two-fold point of view. The first fold point of view is more like trading opportunities, right? Getting in, getting out within, maybe a few days, maybe a couple of weeks. All right. I also have opportunities where I'm looking for a couple of months type of opportunities. But then also when you're looking at this here could create generational wealth. And I believe we're likely to see something like this here when it comes to the AI stuff from there. So that's the first thing I did want to say, because the reason why I'm bringing this up here, because I do see that initially we're getting this here, and one of the lessons I really want to sort of impart upon you is that if we actually bring up the markets right now, right, and we look at the index through here, right, just think about this with your own personal trading, guys. And even when you're looking at, say you're looking to buy some stocks or you're looking to get into some markets, just think about the markets as we go through different cycles, right? And so just think about, where are we in the cycle of things? Are you looking to get into a stock right now that has been making already a nice move? And this is the biggest miss out there, the biggest thing out there across all markets that I see. What crushes a lot of traders is that they see this thing coming through here, and then they're trying to enter up this point through here. And as you can see, right, everything has cycles. So we go through this boom cycle here for a while, and then we go through the pulling back cycle. Now this is a weekly chart. This is the overall picture. But if you're looking to buy and hold even some good quality companies, the best thing to do is that if it's already been going up for 1 or 2 years, the best thing to do is to try to just back away from that, because as you know, everything goes in cycles, right? We go through this bullish period through here for a few years, and then we end up going through a bit of a pullback, right? You want to wait for times like this here to get involved with it. And then look what happened here. We've gone through what? We've gone through an extraordinary quality move through here, and now we're going through what? Now we're going through another one of these cycles. It's just the cycles of how things work, right? The booms and bust cycles and so on and so forth. And so that's obviously a really big picture, guys. That the big picture of things and where I see some really good opportunities coming. Let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm actually missing out on something. Let me know what you think of other markets as well too. So these two markets on the bullish side anyway. I believe there's some really good, amazing opportunities. One for the AI, and obviously one for the gold mining stocks. That's for longer term opportunities in the markets from here. Now let's go and check out. Now let's actually just go check out the actual short term stuff here, because I got so much stuff I want to cover with you. So let's actually look at the actual stock market here on a short term level basis. This is short-term TA now, guys. What I've just talked about here is probably what's going to happen over the next 5-10 years, where we can position ourselves to really ride incredible booms. And I just think there's pockets of opportunities all around the place, guys. If we just look at it from a common sense point of view, and if you look at the buy and hold some stuff from a common sense point of view, right? The reason why I bring up the AI stuff initially on this video was because I think that if we just look at the same things happen again and again and again and again, right? So and I bring up the internet bubble for the same reason from there. So that's longer term stuff, guys. Now let's get into some shorter term TA stuff and all that sort of down home country goodness. So looking at we'll start off with the Dow Jones first. So the Dow Jones, as you can see, initially, or what's been happening here now on the Dow Jones, is we've been doing nothing here on the absolute short-term level basis here. We can see that we've actually been struggling. And this is actually a warning sign. There's actually a short-term warning sign here, because we've been going up through here, but notice we haven't been going up strong. Right? We try to go up and then we come down, and now we're doing this through here. This is actually and now look what's happening through here, right? We're starting to sort of slow down, right? We're not even going up strong through here, right? If we were strong, we'd start to see a little bit more of a buying angle, right? A little bit more of a buying angle. Let me show you what I mean through here, right? Now, look at the differences in the angles through here. Let me show you here, okay? Actually, you know what? Let's do this here. Let me blow you up for a minute. And let me show you this here. So if I look at the angles of the moves, and I want to show you. So look at this here. So we can see this angle through there through to there. See how that's actually pretty strong, right? That's actually what's called strong buys. We can see the angle of the buying leg was pretty strong through there, right? And now we can just copy paste it. See how this is pretty much the same sort of angle, but just slightly different, but still pretty strong through there, right? Now what's happening, right? Now, if we have a look at the market right now, what's been happening now, right? We were going up through here, weren't we? See, we were going through the same angle, but then now look what's happening. Now we're doing what? Now we're starting to get this flattening out period. See how we're starting to get this flattening out period now? And this is actually quite a weak sign. So if we have a look at that through that, let me actually just delete everything off the screen now. If we have a look at that through there, and look at the absolute short-term level basis here, what's happening right now is that if we do start to sort of falter here on this short-term charts, we can possibly see this thing start to move back down towards these all-time lows. Now, on a short-term level basis, and looking at these markets, we do have a lot of momentum. There's a lot of pressure now on the downside for another drop to come out of the stock market. And a few things I'm looking for is my longer term momentum indicators, which is the moving averages. And that's on this weekly chart here. You can see this weekly chart, I have my 24 green moving average. And as you can see, if I just bring this up through here, as you can see, whenever we do get the strong moving averages through there, we're actually in a bullish environment. But whenever we start to turn around from here to here, like we're starting to turn down from here, that's actually starts to go into a lot more. The momentum's now more on the downside than the upside. And you can even see through here when it comes to this chart down the bottom here, as you can see that if I just bring up this color, as you can see here on my daily charts from here, whenever the blue moving average, which is my 52 moving average, whenever that's strong trending in a direction, that's where the momentum is. So the momentum is very strong to the upside through here. But through here, what do we have? We actually have the momentum actually coming down. So the momentum is actually shifting not only from a daily perspective with the 52, but we're also starting to get this moving average shifting down. And the last time we saw that was through here, and then we actually started to come down. So I wouldn't be too surprised to actually start to see this thing start to actually have a bit of a rolling over effect, and maybe even come back down to new lows when it comes to the Dow Jones. Let's go look at the actual Nasdaq from here. And the Nasdaq is actually slowing down as well too. We're actually at a bit of a sort of a resistance point through there. You can see here that this is all the resistance level through there. From that perspective, let me just blow this up for a minute. So we can see that through there. And also you can see where the Nasdaq is. The Nasdaq is actually at a lot of resistance through here. What that 20,000 sort of where it is right now, and maybe even just slightly higher than that, as you can see. This whole area for the last 6 months, as you can see, has been a lot of resistance here, and just back above it as well too is there's a lot of support and resistance all going back here for the last 6 months from here. So the big key you want to be focusing on is that, as you can see, we're squeezing up through here, but looking at the actual squeezing up pattern, if we do break down, then we're probably going to see the movement on the downside. And one of the reasons why we can see we're potentially starting to struggle here, right? So we did actually initially we got a bit of a strong move from here. Now look what's happening, small bars. So if we get some sort of strong bar down, especially breaking this short-term low from here, then that's probably going to start to be conducive to another movement on the downside. And one of the things we're seeing through here is, once again, you can see how the moving averages from here as well too. And if I just delete all that off the screen, you can see once again my 52 on my daily charts, which again is a momentum indicator coming straight down from here. And the best trades, as you can see, and if I bring up my weekly chart now with my 24 moving average, as you can see, if you want to have a real high, if you want to have a good win-loss ratio, if the moving average is trending in any direction, up, down, up, and now we're starting to go down a bit through here. If you want to have a really good sort of trading career, then as you can see, just go with the momentum, which go with the moving average. So through here, should be looking for longs, looking for shorts, looking for longs, and possibly even now looking for shorts, because we're now starting to shift from there. So that's the Nasdaq as well too. Now let's go look at the S&P 500. Let's blow you up for a minute here. The S&P 500, we can actually see that there's more like a band through here. So as you can, sometimes it's not like an actual finite number or finite level. It's actually like sometimes like an area, right? So it's up through there. Possibly this whole band through here, I would say, is the resistance, right? Because we have a lot of supports here. So a lot of support through here. We also came down through to here. We also had a lot of resistance. So this whole 5,800 to 5,900. So even if we do get one more pop to the upside, the short-term analysis here is that sort of level going through there. So even if we do get a little bit more movement to the upside, what we want to see is what actually happens from here. If we do we start to rally up through here and then hold and then start to break down from there, or do we start to roll over from here, looking at that level from there? So I don't believe we're going to go just straight up from here. And again, the reason why I'm saying that is by looking at all my sort of momentum indicators. Once again, we can see that things are really shifting here from that perspective. Again, this is the daily charts, S&P, and also my longer term charts, my weekly charts, looking at that through there. So let's go look at the actually, let's actually focus on now. I want to bring up this is the health sector, guys. And the health sector has actually been one that has been not doing much for many years. And now we're developing a head and shoulder formation, and we're starting to really roll over. This is the weekly chart from here. And so the health sector right now has been doing quite poorly, right? So even when the markets were going through an incredible boom, we can see that it did hold here. It held here quite strongly. As you can see, we also got this level down through to here, and that level up through there somewhere, right? That's the support resistance levels, as you can see. So we went sideways for a long time. We actually broke out. This is actually a really bad sign, because generally speaking, whenever we go through this level through here, that's conducive for another really big move. But it failed big time, right? It failed big time. Not only that, but we're actually developing a massive head and shoulder formation, and it's actually confirmed. And what are we getting from here? We're actually getting the moving average turning down big time through there. So not only that, not only are we developing shoulder, head, shoulder, and if we actually look at the actual projection from there on a rough estimate anyway, that through there, we can see, yeah, so we're probably going to head down through here, probably another 10% drop to the downside from here on a bare minimum. But the energy, the health sector for some reason is getting hit quite hard. And if we look at my shorter term charts, right, my shorter term charts over the last, say, 1 year, we can actually see what's going on from here. We had a rally up through here, we failed, we come back down, and now we're starting to get a lot of my momentum indicators, which is my shorter term moving average, this is the green one, and the blue moving average. They're all starting to trend down from here. So not only are we getting a high and a lower high through here, but we're starting to see the moving averages trend down from here. So the health sector right now, at least for the short-term level basis, looks like it's actually really struggling right now. Generally speaking, if something's going to be a false breakout, so as you can see, it did break past this major level of 140, but looking at this level right now, if this was going to be some sort of a false breakout pattern, we would go down through to here, we would come up with here, and we'd hold and we'd break up and we'd continue doing that. Due to the fact that it didn't do that, due to the fact that it actually just came up and resisted right there through there, and if I just bring up this chart here, which is with no moving averages, you can clearly see that this resistance back here is now become, or that support back there is now becoming resistance, and we're definitely on a very strong down. So that's a high through there, a lower high, and we're starting to really roll over. We're starting getting a lot of this sideways movement, and it's rejecting at that level. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see the health sector get absolutely or at least get crushed for the short-term level basis from here. If I look at the health sector from a very large perspective, I think by the way, guys, I think the health sector is another sector to be really bullish long term, right? Because you think about the health sector boom that's likely to come as well too over the next 10 years. So I think as I'm speaking right now, you can see there's actually a lot of really good opportunities all around the place that I think just there's so many opportunities, like even the cryptocurrencies, there's so many opportunities right now. But on a short-term level basis, we can see through there. On a long-term level basis, guys, and where it may come down to, that's that level through there. I'm just trying to see if there's actually any longer-term levels where it actually may go down if we start to get a bit of a drop to the downside, or a bit of a drop overall. That's that level from there. Again, we're sort of holding here. I think long-term that there's going to be some really good opportunities. Just looking at that through there, we did actually have a line through there, as you can see, but now that was completely broken, wasn't it? So you can see here we came down, found support here, and then it rolled over, and now completely changing the shift of this market here. So the energy sector, the health sector right now is getting absolutely sort of just really struggling, right? Again, we should have seen this thing, especially not doing much for a few years, and then break out. Now we're developing a massive head and shoulder formation. This thing is now confirmed as well too from our weekly charts. Confirmed simply means, guys, it breaks out. A lot of traders, they will see this head and shoulder formation and they'll get in. What you want to do is you want to wait for it to confirm. Confirm simply means you get the breakdown, right? So you always want to wait for the confirmation from there. So the health sector, guys, on a short-term basis, there could be some nice, good shorting opportunities in the health sector. Just looking at this level here, again, completely rolling over now. Lower highs here in the markets. Quite a bit of volatility where we are right now, but lower highs, and the momentum on all of this from my shorter-term green moving average, which is my 24, my 52 here, and then also looking at the actual the moving average here. And as you can see, that this is actually really weak, especially for the short-term level basis here, guys. It's actually not looking too good for the health sector. I think the health sector is about to get absolutely just crushed over the next say month or so. But I do believe longer term, if we can start to get down to say this level down here, right, this major level down here, because we have actually broken out of that level. If we get down through there, I think the health sector, just like the AI sector, just like many sectors, really, it's like all the sectors, I really do honestly believe that there's going to be a lot of really good opportunities in the health sector, because as you know, there's going to be some revolutionary booms and all that sort of stuff when it comes down to that through there. So weakness in the in the health sector from there. Now, one thing I do want to sort of go on to now is the dollar. And one thing that I've been watching for to see with the dollar has been whether we're going to get a false breakdown. And if so, that's probably going to be conducive to more upside to come from here. So if we look at this here from a weekly chart perspective, we can see the dollar was actually at a lot of support levels through here. We came down and we've actually had a little pop to the upside, but not too much right now. So I do believe that we're probably likely to start to see this thing being a bit of a false breakout to the downside, holding through here. And if we do get that, then we're probably going to see at least a bit of a rally, to a 50% level, which looks like it could be through there. So that whole 50 to 60% level through there. Now, if you are right, if your view is the dollar's crashing, it's going to keep crashing, just remember I want to bring your thoughts back to what actually is a crash. Right? That's it, the dollar crashing, dollar crashing, dollar crashing. Or gold boom, gold boom. Remember how markets operate, right? If the dollar is going to crash, what is a crash? Now, again, let's just go back to the stock market. Let's go back to the stock market and let's go back to the 2008 stock market crash. What does the market do in a crash? Yes, you get some sort of strong selling periods through here, but we go down, we go up, we go down, we go up, we go down, we go up, right? We have a stepping back. It's not just going to completely fall off a cliff, especially not the dollar. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because if your view is the dollar's going to crash, the dollar's dead, that's it, it's all over, you may be right. But what is probably going to happen through here is what the markets do, right? The market will step. So we've had a big move down. If the dollar is going to crash, we'll probably get a bit of a rally here for a bit. Let the moving average starts to catch up from there. And then we start to roll over, and then we start to go through here. So if the dollar is going to completely go down to 90 or 80 or, zero, some of you guys, we will get something like that. So on a short-term level, over the next few months, we should get a bit of a rise out of the markets from there. And by looking at that, that's where we can start to see things like gold having a bit of a pullback from here. So just remember, guys, all these markets the markets go through these phases. And it's so interesting that we can see how these things work out time and time and time again. But so many people are so like, there's actually a lot of people right now that are still saying that the reason why gold's still going up is because the central banks are buying. I want you to stress, if that is your thought about this, what happened to the central banks through here? What about this point through here? What about the market's stair step, right? Remember I said before, in a big bull move, a big bull move is what? Up and then down and up and down and up and down, up. So it just makes sense, right? So for gold is, it's very, very, very risky when it comes to the long-term gold stuff from here. Now, on a short-term level, when it comes to the absolute short-term level from here, in fact, we can see here that we actually had a bit of a resistance point all through here. It's a bit of a resistance point, and we are holding through here. So we want to see, we actually, just by looking at this level from here on this gold chart, have a bit of resistance. We may get another little push to the upside. Okay, cool. Okay. So on a short-term level now when it comes to gold, now you must think short-term is what could happen over the next, say, week. Long-term, over the next couple of months, we're going to probably start to form a bit of a top. And the reason why that's important, because if you're trying to get into a trade right now thinking we're going to start another big move for 2 months, well, then you've got to put in the context of where are we in that weekly chart. So we're holding through here. If we do push back above this level through here, we're probably going to go for another move. And again, I'm just looking at the short-term level from here. But again, I must sort of stress to the point, where are we in the big picture here, right? The weekly charts are king. And if we do push to the upside, it's not going to go for a big move. We'll probably go for a move, but we're not going to go for another big, this parabolic move that we're seeing through here. It's not going to do it again, and we're going to go to 5,000. So if we do see that, then we can see that what's actually happened here from a low to high perspective, we can actually see it came down to 50% and hold, and now we're holding through here. If it does hold and we do continue up on this gold chart, then we can actually see that we can have this sort of extension from here. So we have this low point to high point, and then we can also just bring that down through to there, right? So it does look like that maybe, just maybe, that gold is, because it is on a short-term level basis. I can't sort of falter the short-term level basis, what I'm seeing here on this short-term charts. And that is, if we do break these highs up here, we could be getting ready for another move back up towards, maybe the 3,000 sort of 700 level. That looks like that's sort of the area of that short-term level target. But remember, it's so important to, if you want to jump on things that's likely to make a big move, then keep an eye on that weekly chart. We may break and have this move up through here, but this may be the final push before we start to see something like that in gold. And by the way, guys, that what I just said there is coming in gold. If this is going to be the start of the recession from here, and it's game over with the stock market right now, we're going to see a lot more downside to come out of the stock market. Gold will get crushed as well from there. So that's what I'm seeing from there, guys. What I'm seeing there. Let's actually just go check out the USO charts. The USO charts, really interesting thing is I'm still seeing some people being bullish the energy sector and the oil sector, when we're clearly getting some levels of analysis of being weakness and not bullishness. And so what I'm looking at here is a few things. If we look at this, actually, let me bring this up to here. I'll bring this up. This is the oil market from here, and as you can see, we just broke down from here. And one thing that we want to see here, right? It's really interesting to see, because even though we have rule number one for me, guys, is what's the trend, and whatever the trend is, just stick with that. Okay, I'm not sure why, but you see clear technical analysis of highs, a clear technical analysis of highs, lower highs, and lower highs from here, right? And also my momentum indicators are what? Strongly trending on the downside. But then what some people are doing right now, but they're like, but John, it's a double bottom right now. The market's going to go up. But what are you focusing on, right? Because, and what are you focusing on that's going to give you the much better chance of having a successful trade, right? Because clearly the trend is down and we have a double bottom. And so therefore trend is down, the long-term momentum's down. Trying to buy here right now is very, very, very risky, especially looking at some of the people. I heard someone recently say that they're buying oil stocks right now because they think oil's at a double bottom, so they went and bought oil stocks. I'm like, okay, if that's your strategy, which is not really a good strategy, because you're going against the market, right? Don't trade with your ego. And trading with your ego is, if the market's going down, if the market's stepping down, and we're clearly in a downward trend, don't fight that, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to be wrong. You do realize that, right? Whenever we're in a environment of strong trending movements, you want to go with that, because most of the time you're going to do really, really well. It just sort of bogs my mind to see some people then say, okay, well, the market is going down. Let's see if we can, let's buy the double bottom, even though the market's trending down and we've got the moving average trending down. I mean, I got all this momentum on the downside right now, and even though we have just clearly broken out of a major level of support through here and we're trending down through here, the market's going to bottom here, right? And it's like, do you see what I'm saying here? So how are you looking at the markets? Are you looking at, let's pick a bottom, or are you just saying let's jump whatever? Because remember, guys, these markets, trend analysis are formed by the big boys who push these markets around. So the big boys are leaving their footprint, right? You want to know what the big boys are doing? Just easy. See what the charts are telling you. And if you see what the charts are telling you, because the big boys are the ones who push these markets around, right? Not us. We're little birdies. And if they're clearly stepping it down, and we're starting to get the momentum of this also going down as well too, you have not only the big boys pushing it down, trending it down, but then you have momentum coming down, and you're going to try and fight the big boys. I promise you, the big boys are going to run over you 9 times out of 10. You may be right for a short-term level here, but this is where you start to get into the big issues of capitalizing on maybe a small profit going against the trend, and big losses going with that as well too. And the last thing I really want to sort of just share with you here is the energy sector as well too. Notice this level through here, and this is really interesting to see on the energy sector. Look what's happening through here. We've just been doing what? Absolutely nothing through here. I believe this, again, guys, there's so many amazing opportunities when it comes down to these markets here, right? There's long-term buying opportunities right now. There is short-term trading opportunities, not only from the sectors I'm talking about, but from individual stocks I haven't talked about today. Like I'm in 2 trades right now. One's bullish and one's bearish. And because there's so many opportunities right now and we just want to be really flexible about the way we're trading, I'm not bullish or bearish on the entire market, right? Because there is no one market anymore, right? There is markets within the markets, right? So there's sectors right now that looks like they're about to get crushed, and there's stocks right now that are just breaking out that looks like they're about to go through an incredible bull move. So I really want you to be flexible on this. One of the big things you want to do is don't be so dogmatic around the market is. What your view should be based on what the big boys are doing. Okay, so if the big boys have been sort of consolidating and now we're starting to trend down, then that's what you want to be doing. Again, guys, if you need help with all this sort of stuff, then just second link in the description there, guys. Apply for my inner circle where I'm with you every single week, showing you my strategies and all that sort of stuff, so you can identify and not miss out on any of these opportunities when it comes to even from individual stocks that are standing up right now. Again, I'm in two trades right now. One's bearish, looks like it's about to get absolutely just crushed, and when it starts to move, it's going to get absolutely just hammered. And one is a bullish trade, and it literally has just broken out, and right now it's in the stages of just this could be a massive profit, because that's the way that I personally like to trade. How I like to trade is what I'm doing right now. Like recently, I got into a bullish trade, beautiful bullish trade. This has the potential of having a big move in the next month or 2. And I like to get into one trade and hold it for the next 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. And as it generates a big move, I like to get in one trade, have a really big, massive profit, and instead of having all these trades, lots of trades. Makes sense? So there's a lot of opportunities here right now, guys. Looking at the energy sector as well too. If we have a look at this here from this perspective, we can actually see that this is absolutely just, oh my goodness, there's so many opportunities, guys, right? This is completely rounding from here. We were flattening out for many years. Now we're breaking down. The moving averages are trending down. We're starting to trend down from here. Once we start to break this level, guys, there's absolutely just this thing's about to get absolutely just crushed. So on a short-term level basis, guys, when we're looking at a lot of these markets, there's actually a lot of bearishness in the markets, from the stock market, from the AI stocks as well too. Looking at the energy stocks, there's a lot of weakness in the markets from here from a short-term level basis. And if you don't know what you're looking for, then this can really, you're going to miss out on so many opportunities, especially right now. This thing, as I believe, is setting up for an incredible second half of the year out of these markets.